Eyewitness News is following several big stories. Here we go again. The most intense Atlantic hurricane ever, already forcing evacuations in Florida. New flooding fears in Connecticut. Will our dams be able to deal with any rain left over from the monster storm? And lottery dreams. Millions buying a chance to win the largest Powerball jackpot in history. Eyewitness News is everywhere. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5.
Hurricane Wilma sets her sights on Florida, and New England is in some of the projected paths. So Connecticut and the other waterlogged East Coast states are now preparing for the worst.
The hurricane is expected to strike Florida this weekend, and it's likely we will eventually get at least some rain from this system.
And that could be bad news, of course, for those who live near the state's already raging rivers and weakening dams.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Len Besthoff has that story. He's live with our mobile newsroom in Somers now. Len?
Well, Denise, check this out. This is some of the damage wrought by the Somersville Mill Pond Dam that actually gave way or had a breach over the weekend. Check this out. You can see chunks of this road. This is School Street, or what's left of it. You can see over there it's just been eaten away. And if you take a look over here, you can see that the dam is running pretty much at full capacity right now, but there are questions with all this rain coming. The state's saying they're not sure if this dam or others in the state will be able to hold up. Just a few days ago, the Somersville Mill Pond Dam was overflowing, 1.5 feet of water right into Mike Eastwood's family business alongside the dam.
It was a frantic morning. There was a lot on everybody's mind.
The water then eased in Eastwood's business after the dam had a breach, one of 10 in the state, which either suffered damage or totally gave way, according to the State Department of Environmental Protection.
We have teams out looking at dams, particularly focused on this area of the state where the highest rainfall was.
And with the remnants of Hurricane Wilma bringing the chance of another deluge of rain to Connecticut, possibly 2 to 5 inches, the DEP will not rule out more breaches at dams in the state.
It's very dependent upon how quick the rain comes, not only how much it comes, but how fast it comes.
And now, if you take a look here, what you can see is that this dam's in pretty good shape here. What happened, though, was the water actually came around the side of the dam and created all this damage here. Now, of the list of 10 dams in the state that they have right now that have had breaches or had some damage, only about 3 of them are actually owned by the state. Many of them are private dams. We're live in Somers. Len Besthoff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
More now on Hurricane Wilma. The monster storm is one of the most intense ever recorded anywhere. People in the Florida Keys are being ordered to get out. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Brian Andrews has more now from Naples, Florida.
Water is flying off the shelves as concern grows that Wilma's eye has Florida in its sight.
But I'm going to be prepared, I hope.
The record-tying 12th hurricane of the season, and now this year's most powerful, intensified overnight to a Category 5 and is forecast to hit Florida sometime this weekend.
I will assure you that if this one makes landfall on the Gulf Coast of Florida, there'll be a tremendous storm surge.
Residents near Naples, Punta Gorda, and Fort Myers are still trying to recover from last year when Hurricane Charlie, a Category 4 storm, struck, killing more than 20 and destroying nearly $8 billion in property.
As Southwest Florida prepares for whatever Wilma may bring, do-it-yourself stores like this one are doing brisk business, and it's not just the storm boards. They're also doing bang-up sales in these 50-pound bags of sand.
It's been steady and busy since 6 o'clock this morning.
Wilma has already caused flooding in the Caribbean. Non-residents in the Florida Keys have been ordered to evacuate. The National Hurricane Center says they don't see any way folks there are going to escape a pounding. And the National Guard is ready to take on any hard-hit areas.
So you're going to ride this one out?
I'm going to stay home.
Governor Jeb Bush on Capitol Hill, talking about hurricane preparedness, says his fingers are crossed.
We prepare for the worst, we hope for the best, and then we expect the unexpected.
And with the menacing storms nearing, it seems everyone is doing just that. In Naples, Florida, Brian Andrews, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Now, there are some estimates that Wilma could eventually make it to Hartford in some form, perhaps as a weak hurricane. Meteorologist Mark Dixon joins us in the Early Warning 3 Forecast Center. Hard to get out because it's hard to think about the possibility of a lot more rain up here, Mark.
Well, that is indeed the case. Some of those models are bringing it in about 5 to 6 days from now up in our direction. That is a situation, of course, that we'll be monitoring very closely. But here is the very latest on Hurricane Wilma. It was at one point the lowest pressure, or have the lowest pressure ever recorded for a hurricane. And I tell you what, it has weakened somewhat, but this is still a Category 5 storm, still a menacing force to be dealt with. And there you can see it continuing to spin in the western Caribbean. And the latest track on this storm, sustained winds at right now 160 miles an hour, moving off to the west-northwest, and then it curves off to the northeast, likely impacting Florida as we head into the weekend. And then the models do bring it up in our direction. You notice the very left side of that fan there does move into New Jersey and then into Connecticut. We're talking about by Monday afternoon. So this is, again, something that we will watch very closely, because not only could this bring us some heavy rain, but we have an entirely different system that could bring heavy rain to the state during the upcoming weekend. We'll have all the details on that coming up in the early warning forecast.
Stay with Channel 3 Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of Hurricane Wilma. Now, ahead at 5:30, how the other waterlogged states are preparing for even more wet weather.
New at 5 tonight, a restraining order has been issued against a convicted rapist accused of repeatedly harassing his victim. And tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from the woman. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Susan Raff is live with our mobile newsroom in Hartford now with the story. Susan?
Denise, this woman's husband was sentenced here at Hartford Superior Court for rape, assault, and kidnapping. But that, unfortunately, is only the beginning. Since he has been in prison, he has filed numerous lawsuits victimizing his ex-wife over and over again.
Sat down on the bed and he just bang hit me on my face. Actually, I had a black eye.
She's had to change her name and move 5 times because she's afraid. Isabel says it started when she tried to leave her husband after he had beaten her several times.
He actually pushed me inside the van. After I sat down in the seat, that's when he hit me on my forehead. Then started bleeding.
Isabel was scared. Then her husband, Alan Adgers, took her to a Hartford park and raped her with a knife pointed at her head.
And then he told me to take my clothes off. And everything happened there.
And that was only the start of her pain. Adgers was arrested, tried, and convicted. He's now serving an 18-year sentence, but the harassment continues. He's filed not 1, not 2, but some 23 lawsuits against his ex-wife, judges, prosecutors, and even the governor. Isabel has been forced to testify each time, forced to relive that brutal night.
So I think about moving again. Because, you know, I love the way I am, what I live at now. And I'm afraid I have to move again. Because I don't, you find a way to find me. You always find a way.
Now, Isabel got some relief yesterday. The chief state's attorney helped forward a processing report. And the importance of that is a restraining order. That will help protect her in the future, and it is for life unless a judge decides to change that. But this is only the start, in fact, and there are many more things that need to be done to protect Isabel and many other women. And we'll come up with that 6, and we'll tell you about that. For now, we're live in Hartford with the mobile newsroom. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
A man whose murder trial changed Connecticut law wants the state Supreme Court to throw out his conviction. Michael Lutzker says it was wrong for the judge to agree to excuse a woman from serving on the jury and then later appoint her as an alternate juror. Lutzker was convicted last year of killing Jenny McMeekin in 2001. McMeekin, who was his girlfriend, was pregnant. Her slaying prompted a new law increasing the penalties against those convicted of assaulting a pregnant woman. It became known as Jenny's Law. Now to a developing story in New Milford tonight. A natural gas leak is causing major problems in the downtown area. A construction crew on Route 7, also known as Danbury Road, accidentally punctured a gas line earlier today. At this hour, nearby businesses are still evacuated. Route 7 has been closed between Sunny Valley Road and Fort Hill, including Veterans Bridge. Now, New Milford police tell Eyewitness News the smell of gas is still strong in the area. They're asking people to stay away. New details tonight on the truck driver involved in an accident in Middletown earlier this week. Police say they cited the driver of the oil truck that rolled over on Route 66 on Monday, cited him for driving too fast. 53-year-old Gerard Legace of Meriden has been fired from his job as well. The truck hit a couple of cars when it went out of control. No one was seriously hurt, but that road was shut down for several hours.
Powerball mania is really intense tonight. Not surprising with that jackpot worth a record $340 million. Tickets are selling at $4,500 a minute. And thousands from New York and Massachusetts are flocking here to buy them because Connecticut is the only place around here where they can buy them. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Jaime Roth is live with our mobile newsroom in Enfield now with more on the frenzy. Jaime, I think I see you there in the crowd. Go ahead. I see you.
Gives you an idea of just how excited everybody is. Excuse me, excuse me. Everybody's crowding in to buy these lottery tickets, and since I've been here, I have met so many winners. Everyone holds up his ticket and says, this is the winning one. We talked to the Connecticut Lottery. They say that since Sunday, sales of these Powerball tickets have topped $8 million, and we've still got time left. Connecticut border towns like Enfield have been inundated by hopeful ticket buyers. The Connecticut Lottery is actually recommending that ticket buyers travel inland for their Powerball purchases. Just a few minutes of additional travel could save time waiting in the line. Here at Angie's State Line, workers sold $18,000 worth of tickets yesterday, and so far today sales have topped $16,000 worth of tickets. And there's still 4 hours left. Plenty of time to think big.
I'd probably quit my job and move away somewhere.
I give some of it away, help people.
Charity?
Yeah, schools and stuff.
I would move.
Where would you move to?
I don't know, somewhere hot. No winters for me.
I would definitely quit my job.
And then do what?
Travel, maybe try to start a charitable organization or something.
And just FYI, just saying that you're going to do something charitable with the money does not increase your odds, which, by the way, are 1 in 147,107,962. So dare to dream. We are live with the mobile newsroom in Enfield. Jaime Roth, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Saddam Hussein's trial is delayed, and something the former dictator did in court today has everyone talking.
Eating for free. Why schools in one Connecticut city are handing out free lunches to all of the students.
I'll tell you what, we've had some chilly mornings across the state, but we could be dealing with some frost. I'll tell you when. That's ahead of the early morning forecast.
And new at 5:30, how an eyewitness helped police nab 3 men for a shooting here in Connecticut.
All new on Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6. Boaters stranded in the Long Island Sound. The amazing efforts made by one firefighter to save 2 men stuck in Connecticut waters. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6. Eyewitness News is everywhere. The big games, the big plays from the kid next door. We take coverage of high school football as seriously as they take the game. Friday Night Football. Fridays after Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Sponsored by Connecticut Toyota Dealers. WFSB.com, your online source for Eyewitness News. This is WFSB Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5. Eyewitness News is everywhere.
Day 1 in the trial of Saddam Hussein. It was a short session, only lasted 3 hours, and it ended with a delay. It was filled with a lot of drama as Saddam insisted that he is still the president of Iraq.
A panel of 5 judges is hearing the case, which could be the first of several trials for Saddam for atrocities during his 23 years in power.
I will not answer.
Today, he pleaded innocent to charges of murder and torture. The deposed dictator was defiant from the start, refusing to recognize the court's authority.
Whatever happened is illegitimate.
Throughout the proceedings, prosecutors, defense attorneys, even Saddam himself spoke out, only to be reprimanded by the lead judge.
The court is independent, and nobody is allowed to interfere.
In quieter moments, Saddam paid close attention, holding a copy of the Quran, the Muslim holy book, as prosecutors detailed the crimes he's accused of committing.
Killing, bloodletting, starvation.
If convicted, Saddam and 7 members of his regime could face the death penalty for the 1982 massacre of nearly 150 Shiites after a botched assassination attempt. In that town, about 35 miles north of Baghdad, some gathered today to watch the trial on television, while others took to the streets, calling for the fallen dictator's head.
Now, Saddam even scuffled with his guards today as they tried to lead him out of court, but no one was hurt. The judges did today agree to give his defense team more time to prepare. He's due back in court November 28th.
A date has been set for confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Harriet Miers. Hearings will begin now November 7th in Washington. Myers, once President Bush's personal attorney, would replace retiring Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. Democrats wanted to start the hearings later in November. We're hearing of an accident on I-84 eastbound causing some problems in Hartford. Rachel Lutzker has the information now in the Time Saver Traffic Center. Rachel.
Well, Denise, the crash is just over the Bulkley Bridge as traffic heads over to the ramp to Route 2 eastbound. State police were en route to this accident that apparently involves a truck. The delay before it is just around 48 A and B and heading to that point. Westbound, heavy off the Bulkley Bridge and through the tunnel. Sun glare certainly a westbound factor, and that will pick up again right at this point by 47, just straight down to West Hartford around Park Road and ease up by exit 40. The shoreline commute's pretty slow northbound side. Just begun to build up in this stretch right around exit 46, and this will go up to the Q Bridge. Southbound's a little bit busy as well by 46 and 45. And we have two accidents right now along the Merritt Parkway. They're both northbound. One's by exit 40 just out of Norwalk, another one a little bit further north by exit 42 into Westport. I'm Rachel Lutzker with your Connecticut Lottery Time Saver Traffic Report. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $340 million.
Accurate, dependable. Now, Eyewitness News early warning weather. Here's meteorologist Mark Dixon.
Well, Wilma continues to churn in the western Caribbean. We have a beautiful day ongoing here across Connecticut. Let's get right to the map and talk about what is happening, because a cold front is actually approaching, and live early warning Doppler 3000 right now is showing that although we are dry here within our borders just to our north and northwestern or western sections of Massachusetts right there, some showers popping up. So we could see a few areas of light rain this evening, but for the most part, just a wind shift line is going to make its way through the area, and then some cooler temperatures are in store for the end of the work week. Our live picture in New London right now showing a mix of sun and clouds, checking out the Bark Eagle there in the distance, and winds today up out of the south and southwest at around 10 to 15 miles an hour, and temperatures today pretty close to normal, if not a degree or two above. Right now in Mystic at a 62, Uncasville 63, Old Lyme currently at 61 degrees, and our live picture from Hartford looking at the Travelers Tower. Some mid and higher level clouds now overspreading the state. Sharon has dropped down to 56 degrees, while in Manchester it's still 64. West Hartford checking in at 63. Elsewhere around the state on our live early warning 3 neighborhood weather net, our temperature showing lower to mid 60s for majority of the state. 65 in Hartford, 62 for New Haven, 61 in Storrs, and 61 as well currently in Groton. There is the line of showers approaching from the northwest. It is falling apart though as it pushes in our direction. The cold front still back in central New York. In advance of that, again, our winds are out of the south-southwest behind the front. More of a northwesterly direction. That's going to usher in some drier air and some...
The pilot did break an arm and a leg. In Florida, an SUV ended up in a sinkhole. How did it happen? Well, a construction worker had motioned the driver to come ahead. That's just a water puddle. Well, it wasn't a water puddle at all. It was a sinkhole caused by a broken water main. The driver is fine. Workers eventually pulled the SUV back to dry ground. A teen in Indiana might well be charged after police say he tried to build a bomb. Police were tipped to the teen's plan by a high school freshman who told them this boy was building the device from plans he found on the internet. The bomb squad was able to come in and defuse the device. It was a small one, but it was packed with powder and shrapnel.
The death toll just keeps climbing in Pakistan as aftershocks continue to rock buildings and to rattle nerves there. It's now estimated 79,000 people have died as a result of that massive earthquake earlier this month, and the aftershocks have followed. Up to 3 million are now homeless. There have been hundreds of aftershocks since the initial quake back on October 8th.
Healthy meals for free. Why one Connecticut school district is not charging students for lunches.
And new at 5:30, how an eyewitness helped police nab 3 dangerous men wanted in a shooting.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5. Eyewitness News is everywhere.
New at 5 o'clock tonight, students in New Haven are now receiving free lunch and breakfast at 3 of the city's largest schools. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Leon Collins has more on how this program works and why they're doing it.
It's lunchtime at Riverside Academy, and something new has been happening at this New Haven High School and 2 others, Wilbur Cross and Hill House. The meals are free for all students. Senior Exxon Afaya explains why this was a needed change.
Because a lot of the students can't really afford to buy lunch in school.
But would some of your classmates go without it because they'd be somewhat embarrassed?
Yeah, they would.
New Haven school officials realized there's often a stigma in high school cafeterias for students who qualify for free lunch, so school officials made it free for everyone. The Board of Education says today's selection is lasagna, carrots, you get your roll, you have milk as an option for a beverage. And the Board of Ed says they'll get the money back that they pay for this meal because of an act of Congress. So far, parents like the balanced meal they know their teens are getting, and the kids...
I can't lie. Sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's good. But, I mean, hey, we can't... it's free, you know.
At least they understand the bottom line. Reporting in New Haven, Leon Collins, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.